In this ending part on table alternatives and variations in Tableau, let's look at a few different ways to create a table. Since this is part 5, maybe let's look at 5 ways to create a table in Tableau. So now let me start off with a empty sheet here. So the first way is to use the double click. We know that if we start double click on any dimension except geographic field, we will start getting a table. So my objective is to create a department wise total salary across the years. So I'm gonna double click on this and then I have this. Good, this looks good. So this is way number 1. So what is the next step? So the next step is basically, so I will double click on the usual place, which is on a number, and then I will allow Tableau to create whatever it wants to create, a very nice visual representation. And then I'm going to use show me to click on this. This is option number 1. The other way is, instead of show me, anytime I have a chart, I can just do a duplicate as a cross tab. Surprisingly, Tableau is actually putting year on rows here. This surprised me, given that many places it actually puts it correctly. So I'll have to tilt here. So this is way number 2. So way number 1, we started with directly creating a table. Way number 2, we created a default chart, whatever it is, and then used a duplicate. And the third possibility is I select each one of these values that I want, all of them, by pressing Control and then selecting each one of them, and then going to show me and then clicking a table. In this case, Tableau properly puts the year in the columns, and then we got the thing that we want. So this is third way. The fourth possibility is, so if you want to start off by numbers rather than dragging or bringing dimensions first, you can drag and drop it into this center area, something like an equivalent of values area in Excel pivot table. And then this time, Tableau is going to interpret this to mean you want numbers. This is a little bit counterintuitive. Maybe the way I thought about this, a funny way to make sense of this is, so you got the number. So the way it is, so normally it is so easy to double click and then get the chart. So if you take the effort to drag this and drop it all the way here, Tableau thinks you probably are a person who is so serious. So let me better give this person a number. Otherwise, he may not enjoy charts. So that's a funny way to remember this, but that's how it is. So this is the fourth way, and then we can add whatever we want, the rest of the stuff. So this is the fourth way. The fifth way, so instead of dragging and dropping, so far we haven't dragged and dropped anywhere. So we could actually drag and drop to columns and rows or their equivalent here. So let me start off by bringing this here and then join date here. Sorry, I put it in the wrong place. And then directly, now that we know this is equivalent of this. So this is one way. The other way is, so you could actually use this also as a drop area. So for example, I want to put departments here, so I can bring this here and it is showing how this is going to be populated. For a lot of beginners, this can be a lot more intuitive than dropping it here, because this doesn't show you how this is going to be represented and you have to remember, whereas this one will show you how this is. So this is going to be 1 by 1 below. And then join date, again I can drop it here, or I can go here, and then this is showing me this broken down kind of a scale. So this is showing me here. So this is much easier seen if you have only this. So I can drop this and then department, I can bring it on the left and then it shows me this. Now I can bring salary and then use the same show me. Yeah. So those are a number of ways to create tables in Tableau. But then this does not really apply to tables. So we looked at 5 ways, except for duplicate as a cross tab, starting with this. So all of the other 4 possibilities are applicable for tables, charts also. So let me demonstrate that by just quickly ending this series with a Tableau flavor. So I can just double click on a chart and then get this kind of a report, way number 1. So way number 2, so I use show me. So I select all the fields by control select and then look at what show me is suggesting. Default, this is what it is saying. So I selected this. This is a slightly different chart. If then I can move it over here. So if that is what I want, but show me is putting everything in a single axis with colors. Or the third possibility is I can drag and drop things. So here I can, for example, I can bring salary here. In this case this is a horizontal chart, or I can bring salary here, and then in this case this is a vertical chart. And then I can add the rest of the details like I did previously, or you could drag and drop it here also. So I can start off here, and then the join date here, and then salary here, depending on whatever chart that I want. Yeah, so there are a lot of ways really to move around and navigate. The best way and the easiest way is to understand the double click logic, which is to me the really the defining paradigm of Tableau. This whole show me research paper, and what gave birth to Tableau is this whole logic that Tableau is using to make it easier for you. But wherever you drop, Tableau actually does its work. It does a lot of its intelligent work. So feel free to explore the whole idea. Why I'm telling you all of these possibilities, there could be even more. This is what I know from my 4 years of experience with Tableau, but there could be even more, and you could learn a lot of this just by experimenting, not by learning or reading manuals. Wish you a happy time with Tableau.